All right, Mr. Steel City, we are live for Week 15 with the NFL Pick'em.
What is going on, everyone? Happy holidays.
Frank and Beans! Frank and Beans!
Frank and Beans. Yeah, man. So Week 15, how you feeling? You like these games? What are we thinking?
I like some of the games. Some of the games I'm kind of scared of. Some of the games could go either way. But there's some games that I think are locks. Shocker. I think a lock is right here on my chest. But we're going to go through them. We're going to give you guys some picks. I think we got some good stuff.
All right, right on. Well, let's kick it off here with the Cowboys and Giants. Who do you like in this one and why?
This is one of my games that I'm uneasy on just because, it's a matchup that usually plays pretty well. Dallas on paper should dominate this game, but I just don't know. No Danny Dimes again, but money line, I'd say Dallas. I don't take the points here just because I'm a little scared of. This is just one of those. I've got a weird feeling about this game. I don't see how the Giants can upset them with the talent that Dallas has, but I would go Dallas money line. That's it. I'm just kind of scared of this one. I'm staying away from. I'm personally not betting it. I don't like the points. Dallas money line is what I would bet if I were to bet it.
All right, that's fair, I guess. I'm a little more ballsy than you on this one, so I am taking the Cowboys, but I am buying them down to -9.5. So I do think they win, but I like that 9.5 number a lot more, so I'm taking it down to that. I also like the under in this game. Giants, Cowboys under 47. I think it's going to be low scoring. I don't think the Giants can score, to be frank, to keep up with the Cowboys. I think this could be a 31-0 kind of game. So I like the under and I like the Cowboys, and this is actually one of our circa picks as well. But that number was 10.5. So that's what we got then.
I like the buy down to 9.5. I love the under. Maybe I'll jump on this under with you. I do like that. I think you're right. I just don't see how the Giants score more than 3, maybe 10 points if there's some weird special teams blocked punt for a touchdown. I just don't see them offensively scoring more than 7 points.
Yeah, I just don't think it's. I don't know. That's just the way that I see it, but I don't think the Cowboys will have an issue with it. I was on the other side last week. I took the football team against the Cowboys. Granted, I got it at like 8, I think, so I ended up covering still. A lot of people didn't. But I think that game's really similar to this one, where people are thinking like the Giants could catch them sleeping, but it's Mike Glennon. Like, I have no faith in Mike Glennon.
Yep, I think that Mike Glennon out there, you out there, same odds. So I'm with you. I'm not riding with the Giants. I'm not riding with the Cowboys either. I just don't. Something just feels off. But I'll ride the under with you. That's probably about it.
You hear that, Get Ripped family? I'm an NFL tier quarterback according to Steel City Rips. That's all.
Back there on the couch, you can see it. Number 81 on the field. Number 1 in our hearts, ladies and gentlemen.
Next we got Vikings Bears. I love the Vikings here. Absolutely love the Vikings. Hammer the Minnesota Vikings is what I say. What do you say, Mr. T. Sipper?
I'm with you. I think -6. If this was at -7.5, I'd be a little bit more worried about taking the points just because the Bears are the Bears. But I'm with you. I think the Vikings are going to -6, I think, is the lock of the day. I think that's an easy bet. Dalvin Cook's going to go off. I'm a little salty betting on the Vikings from what happened last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm still recovering from the cruise, but I watched them beat up on my boys. They just look good. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins. Hurts to say it, but
Kirk Cousins is having a great year.
He's having a great year, and it hurts. He's going to have a Kirk Cousins game. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. He's eventually going to have a Kirk Cousins game, but the talent around him is just so good that I think that they're going to dominate. Again, this is one where I think the Bears are going to struggle to put up points. Justin Fields is great. I think he's going to be, their quarterback for the years to come, but they just don't have the talent. They don't have many options out there besides Justin Fields. So I think Vikings -6. What do you think about the over-under here? This one, I think I want to take the under, but it's at 44.5, and that's kind of low, and it scares me.
Yeah, I would take the under here if I had to take one. I think it's going to be, it's going to be cold and windy in Chicago. I think it's going to be a game that Mike Zimmer and the Vikings just sort of want to win and get out. They're not going to look to run it up on Chicago. They don't really have anything to prove. They're just trying to, win, stay healthy, and move on. For that reason, I could think Dalvin Cook probably won't see 20 carries. He'll be lucky to. And Kirk Cousins will probably feed it out a lot. I like the under here. I don't think the Bears are going to be able to score too much on offense. They played decent last week, not well enough for my cover to hit, unfortunately. But I think they have a rude awakening this week with the Vikings. I think they give it to them.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anytime that the under's around 44, 45 or less than that, the thing that pops in the back of my head is life's too short to bet the under, and I get scared. And then I sometimes jump on the over and I lose. So, I probably won't bet the under on this one because I'm scared and I'm a loser and I have no faith in myself for the 44 number on under overs. But I think the -6 is a bet. I'm going to hammer that line.
Yep.
And I'm not going to say go Vikings because I'm still a little salty what they did to us, but
Skull, baby, skull.
Yeah, skull.
Next we got Panthers Bills. Shout out the chef who is not with us today. Surprise, surprise. He is like a thief in the night when it comes to getting on these shows with us. He's hard to acquire. So, but he is a Panthers guy. Also shout out to our other boy Hindu. Love you, man. Can't wait to see you soon. What do you think on this Panthers-Bills game, Mr. SteelCity?
I think that the chef and Hindu are going to just watch their team crumble.
Oh, wow.
I know that we have different views on this. Now, -14, that's a lot of points. I would buy it down. This is something I'd buy down, kind of like the Cowboys. I think 14 points is a lot in the NFL. I think the Bills will handle them. I think that start to finish, this will be the Bills. I think that the -9.5, maybe buying it down to there is more feeling comfortable for the points. I know the money line's like -700 or something like that, so maybe throw them in a parlay or something. But I think the Bills win. It's in Buffalo. There's going to be tables destroyed. I think that Bills Mafia. This is a must-win game for the Bills in the sense that if they want a chance at the AFC East with the Patriots losing yesterday to the Colts, they've got to win this game if they want a chance. There's still a chance. So this is a must-win game at home for the Bills against a lackluster Panthers team. I think the Bills dominate. I think that Josh Allen runs all over them. I think he's going to have another 40, 50-yard plus rushing game. So I'm also betting the Josh Allen prop bet for rushing yards, and I'm betting over 1.5 touchdowns thrown by Josh Allen. I think Stephon Diggs has been a little, he just hasn't been around these last couple of games. I mean, he's still putting up his catches, but he's not putting on Diggs' numbers. I think that he's going to have a game today. I think Buffalo dominates. It's going to be cold. Panthers are traveling up north. Chef, Hindu, I'm sorry, but there's no chance that I'm betting any bets on the Panthers today.
No chance he bets the Panthers today. Yeah, I'd have to agree. No chance I'm taking the Panthers. If anything, I am going to be on the under here. That's sort of where I'm leaning. I like the under 47. It's going to be cold, rainy. It might have some snow. I saw it earlier on one of the programs, the morning shows. I just think Cam Newton's going to have a hard time. He's probably going to run one in, past that. Don't really see Carolina scoring too much in this game. Love the Buffalo's defense for my fantasy team with the matchup against you this week. Love that for myself.
Going on here.
Love that for myself. We currently are competing for the Wahoo Challenge, the Waffle House Challenge. Unfortunately, in our league for the losers, it's not been a great fantasy year as good as it's been doing the pick'ems, but we'll be sure to report back in week 16 of how this week went, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 24 hours in a Waffle House, and you lose an hour for every waffle you eat. So
yeah,
we're really pulling for Miami Mike to make it in there because that is his nightmare. Whereas for me, I'm kind of excited.
I love Waffle House. I love Waffle House, but I would be in there a very long time.
One other thing to your point is McDermott. He's playing against his former team, so I think his team, the Bills, are going to come to play. I think with Sanders doubtful, he's probably not going to play today. That's just, again, opening it up for Diggs. And then I think the one concern is with the Bills' offensive line, Dawkins is probably going to be out again. So I think that's like a little bit of something you could maybe hang on to if you're Hindu or the Chef. That's kind of all the hope you have. But I think the Bills are just dominating from start to finish.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think it's going to be very similar to that Cowboys game that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's going to go sort of the same way.
But again, 14 points, I'd buy it down. 14 points is a lot in the NFL. It scares me.
Yeah, I agree. I think 9.5 is probably where you want to be on that. Next, we got Bengals, Broncos. What are you thinking?
As much as it pains me to say, I like Cincinnati here. This is another, just like the Bills, this is a must-win game for them. If they want any chance at the AFC North, they've got to win some games here. I think on paper, they are the better team. I think Jamar Chase needs to have a great game. Joey B's got to get the ball to him. He's got to throw the ball to him more. I think T. Higgins is, he's got to show up. Joe Mixon's up there with one of the leading rushers in the NFL. So I think on paper, Cincinnati should dominate. And right now, Cincinnati is, you can get points at +3, which I think is a great bet. So I like Cincinnati +3. They're in the Mile High City, so oxygen is going to be an issue. But honestly, I think that was bigger a couple years ago. Now, I think everyone's just so athletic that it doesn't really make that big of a difference. You get oxygen on the sideline after a long run. So I think the altitude really doesn't make that big of a difference anymore. I can tell you I'm in Colorado right now. It was freezing yesterday. It is absolutely beautiful outside right now, so I don't think there'll be any weather to come into the game. It's beautiful, sunny. It's kind of warm. It's not even going to be cold, but it doesn't really matter. They're coming from Cincinnati anyways. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, they're both questionable, but I think we just looked up that Melvin Gordon and Javonte, it's looking like they're both going to play. I just don't see how Denver wins this game. I think Cincinnati +3. They played some tough teams. The 49ers losing in overtime. Chargers, they got kind of dominated. So this is a statement game for Cincy on the road. Cincy +3.
Yep, I'm with you. I think they win outright. This is a game that if they want to go to the playoffs, they sort of have to win. I mean, same thing for the Broncos, but I just think the Broncos aren't built this year to make that run, whereas I think Cincy is. So I'm with you. I think Cincy gets it done. Probably look at them as, also a money line thing here. And this is also one of our circle picks as well for the Chef and I. We got them at, I think it was 4.5, I want to say. So yeah, love that pick. Next we got Texans Jaguars, sir. Urban Meyer is no longer the coach. Is that going to make a difference?
This is a draft position game. They both have 2 wins. Is someone going to tank? Maybe. I think Jacksonville is going to come out and actually try to play. I think that first game without Meyer, I think the team's going to come together. The team's going to play. You'd like to see, as a Jacksonville fan, you'd like to see Trevor get some touchdowns, some decent throws, keep growing on what he's got for next year, because that's really all you're looking for right now. I don't want to take, we were talking about this earlier, I don't want to take your notes on Robinson, but to your point, I think that they're going to feed him. I think that he should have a good game. They should focus on that. I think that Jacksonville comes out start to finish. I think this is a start to finish game for Jacksonville. The Texans are they've really got nothing going for them anywhere. I can't think of, when you think of the Texans, there's not one person that sticks out like, oh, he's playing well. They just have nothing going on in Houston. So they've got a lot of rebuilding to do.
Right.
-5.5. At first, I wasn't going to touch this game, but I did put a bet on Jacksonville -5.5. I think that they could win by a touchdown, win by 6. So I'm going with Jacksonville -5.5 or Jacksonville money line. And the under at 40. This is just me being a fool. 40 points is too low. I'm betting the over because life's too short to bet the under. I think that's a stupid bet, but I'm doing it. I don't think either of these teams can score, but I did bet the over at 40 because I'm a sucker. That's why. Because Vegas has me. Yes.
Very fair. I'm with you. I'm taking the Jaguars down to 3, though. I do think they win. I think they play a much better game. I think they feed James Robinson a lot more than they have this year. But I also think the Texans sort of still have their number. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I like the Jaguars -3 here. I'm with you there. Titans Steelers, your favorite game of the week is next, sir. What are we thinking?
Here we go, Steelers. All right, here's what I got. Steelers are at home. There's going to be a sea of yellow, terrible towels flying. I've got 2 friends that are diehard Steelers fans at the game. They've already FaceTimed me. They're in. People are going crazy. Spirits are high. We have to win. This is a must win. If we want to make the playoffs, we have literally got to win every game that we have left. With some people losing would also help us. It's a pick 'em. Like I said earlier, I've got bets in when we were +2. I've got bets in when we were pick 'em, and I got bets in when we were -1 because, again, I can't help it. I'm biased towards the Steelers. I think that we dominate. Me personally, I think that we win this game. I think it's going to be a good game, but towards the end of the game, something's going to happen. There's going to be a 70-yard Deontay Johnson touchdown, a 70-yard Najee Harris run. Something big is going to happen to turn this game to us. I think that without them, they don't have, Jackrabbit Jenkins is not playing today. So Deontay Johnson's Claypool, Washington, Ray McLeod, Najee Harris. How do you cover all of them if your number 1 quarterback is not playing today? I think that we're just going to be too defensively. The Titans, again, play to their competition, which for us, I have no idea what our competition is. We're not good. We're not bad. I don't know where we fall. I think the Steelers pick them. Steelers, any points, if there's points out there, take it. Steelers pick them. And I am going to go the over this game only because it's beautiful weather out there. I've seen it. And I think that the Steelers, I think there's going to be 2 weird scores this game. So someone's going to have, like I said, a 70-yard touchdown, and there's going to be a special team score. Something weird is going to happen, and that's going to give us the extra points to get over the over at 43. That's where I'm at. We're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to get absolutely dusted in the wild card game because that's what we do. That's where I'm at. I think we're going to go 3-0 to finish the season.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm surprised. But I'm going to ride it with you. I'm going to go the Steelers money line. I initially was on the Titans. The more I look at it, though, I just don't like betting with Ryan Tannehill. With myself being a Dolphins fan, I just have zero faith in that man. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the Steelers. I don't like it at all. I think your overplay is super generous as well, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm with you. Let's go. Here we go, Steelers.
Najee Harris over rushing. Najee Harris anytime scorer, and Deontay Johnson first touchdown score on something weird. That's my prop bets for this game.
All right. Fair enough. All right, we got 2 left to run through real quick. Next one is Seahawks-Rams. Seahawks-Rams.
This game, this is one of those games where it could go either way. This is going to be a big postseason game for the Rams. I know Seattle's kind of falling apart here. Rams at -6.5. When I look at it initially, I think easy cover, that's the bet. I think that Van Jefferson, OBJ's back, everyone's back for the Rams. Stafford's been dominating. For me, just the thought of Aaron Donald being able to grab a 340-pound human being and throw him at will means Russell Wilson's going to be running around all game. So do I double think? Do I double take at the -6.5? This should be an easy win for the Rams. Yes, I do, but I'm taking it. Rams -6.5. I think that their defense is going to win this game for them. I'm not touching the over or under because I don't know what's going to happen. This is one where DK Metcalf could have a 70-yard touchdown. Van Jefferson could have another 50-yard touchdown. OBJ. So there's too many factors for the over and under for me, but I like the Rams -6.5. I think that their defense is going to be the biggest factor in this game. Aaron Donald's going to dominate. They're going to have no rushing attack. That's where I stand.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. They're getting Jalen Ramsey back. He got activated. So that's huge for them in playing against Metcalf. Like you said earlier, Henderson's going to be back. So I think the Rams are going to do great. I think Cooper Kupp's probably going to have at least 2 tutties. So I think that's a good guy for an anytime TD for sure. I'm with you on the Rams. This is also one that me and the chef jumped on. So we got him at -4.5 for Circa. But I like him at 6.5 as well with you. Last but not least, we got the Saints against the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the Bucks. What do you think?
I think this is a little competition game for us, unless your mind has changed. I think Tampa Bay at home, Tom Brady, they're playing for the NFC South clinch. I think that they win. Tom Brady and the Bucks are 6-0 at home. I think that Mike Evans. The biggest factor for me is Lenny Football going to play? He's questionable. I have not seen an update on him yet. If he plays and they have their rushing attack and they've got Tom Brady, the GOAT, 6-0 at home, I just don't see how Tampa Bay loses this game. Now, I am not taking the points. 11.5 is way too many points. I would maybe bet the Buccaneers money line, or I don't even know if, 9.5 is kind of what we talked about, and I'm a little worried after hearing your justification, but I'm going to stick to my guns here with the 9.5. I think that the Bucs surprise everyone here. They break their little curse that they have, which we'll talk about, but 6-0 at home. Look, it comes down to this. You don't bet against Tom Brady. If I bet against Tom Brady, then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and go, you idiot, why did you bet against Tom Brady?
Yeah, see, that's what I did earlier this year. I bet with Tom Brady for the notion of don't bet against Tom Brady, and he played the Saints and lost. Tom Brady is 0-3 against the Saints in the regular season in his career. The Saints have beaten the Bucs 6 times straight. They are plus 11.5 currently. I like him at plus 14. I think that's a great pick. We got him at Circa at plus 11. Could definitely easily see the Buccaneers just blowing them out of the water. But for that reason, it's probably not going to happen. That's usually how it goes. So I like the Saints. We'll see what happens. I think Taysom Hill and Kamara will be able to get something going in like the read option. To keep that Bucs rush defense a little on their toes. They put up 152 on them earlier in the year, so got to think they'll be able to do something.
Yeah, actually, the plus 14, I think that's a solid play. I'm sticking to my -9.5. I do like that. I like that pick, so we'll see what happens. Got a good day of football ahead. That's all the games that we had, but I've got 2 parlays that I want to throw out there for the people. First is my anytime touchdown parlay. Originally, it was Deebo Samuel, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon. That was plus 482. You talking about Cooper Kupp, though, getting a couple tutties. I think I'm going to add him to that and have a 4-person anytime touchdown score. So it would be Deebo Samuel, Kupp, Najee Harris, and Joe Mixon. I like that a lot. I don't see how that doesn't hit. but of course that's betting. But I love that a lot for the anytime touchdown scores. And then little money line parlay. I like Steelers, Buffalo, Cincy money line. It's not the best odds. It's coming out at plus 402 when I got it, but I like that for a little three-teamer. Those are my two little parlays for the people's parlays.
Right on. Anytime touchdown for the people. I like James Robinson. I think he's going to have one. Cooper Kupp, like I said just a little bit ago. I think Adam Thielen will probably get one against the Bears as well. That's probably a good guy to have. So those are my three that I'm probably looking at for an anytime.
Do you have a lot of faith in that Robinson?
I do. I probably have more faith in Thielen than Robinson, but I think Jaguars are really going to feed him. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he had 30 carries today.
So enough faith to throw him in. Should we just make it a five-person anytime touchdown scorer? Debo, Cup, Robinson, Najee, Mixon, and just go for it?
I mean, I'd throw him and Thielen in there and make it a six-teamer.
Let's do it. I'll throw a couple bucks on that. I mean, that's going to be. I don't know where the odds would be. You'd have to plug it in, but that's going to be.
Should be pretty good.
In the thousands. Yeah.
Should be pretty good.
If we're at 42, 3, and you add 3 more, I mean, it's probably going to be like 1,500, something like that.
Right. Hey, I'll take it. I would bet that it's probably a little bit higher than that.
Hold on. I'll try to look it up real quick. But I'm down for that. I think that's a solid anytime bet. I don't know if you have your app in front of you. I'll try to do it real quick. Give the people a little taste of what it could be. You think it's going to be what? Around like 1,800?
Nah, I think it'll probably be like 27. That'd be my guess. I have no idea what the numbers are at all on any of those, but that's where I think.
I would imagine that most of those people are around minus 115 for an anytime touchdown. Joe Mixon's at minus 150. Let's see. Debo, he's been playing. He's minus 115, yeah. Cup. You know what I love is the fact that we have games. What is it? 10 days out of the next 11 games, or what? Something like that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
I mean, if that doesn't make you happy as a football fan, I don't know what. I don't know how. I don't know what could.
Well, then you also got all the bowl games, right? There's bowl games pretty much every day now for the next month for college.
Yeah, it is just a miraculous time for football. All right, let's see here. Where's Adam Thielen? He's minus 110. All right, so Cup is not. They don't have the lines on the app I'm using right now for the Rams game.
Right.
Because that's not till 2 days from now, so they don't have him available to throw in yet. But as of now, the other 5 players takes us to 1753. So I bet throwing him in gets us over the 2,000 mark pretty easily. So I think you're pretty right. You're right there. So.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, I like that though. All right, man.
I think it's gonna hit.
We got about 20 minutes till kickoff. You got anything left you want to run through before we play some? Play some quick Call of Duty and the new Pacific map, Warzone, maybe.
Yeah. I do have one comment. Again, we didn't talk about that. I think Arizona and the Atlanta game. Just a side note: Arizona, no Hawkins. No Hawkinson for Detroit. James Conner's questionable. He's got 6 touchdowns over the last 5 games. I think, hear me out, Arizona should dominate this game, but this is another game where Detroit's going to do something weird. I think this is a chance for Detroit. This is a game where Detroit could outright win. It's just a weird game. That's the feeling I get.
Yep.
In the Atlanta 49ers game, Atlanta traveling to West Coast, I think the 49ers crushed them. But again, it's the same thing as Arizona and Detroit. It's so easy on paper. Arizona should dominate. 49ers should dominate. But again, that has a chance to be a weird game. I have more faith in Detroit than I do the Falcons because just like Tom Brady, you never bet on Tom Brady, you never bet on the Falcons.
Well, if you look at the records for road record for the Falcons, that's where they've won. They suck at home. And the 49ers, same thing. They've won on the road, they suck at home. So you got a good road team against a bad home team on there. You got Matt Ryan going against his old OC, Kyle Shanahan. So there's a little bit of something there. But I'm with you on the Cardinals-Lions. The chef was huge on the Cardinals, and we sort of talked about it because it was one that we were thinking about using for Circa. And yeah, I couldn't get on it. Everything in my head kept saying, Cliff Kingsbury he's basically playing right now for the playoffs. He just wants his guys healthy. Let's just get a win, lock it up, and get in, and then we can sort of go from there. But I don't think he's worried about how big they win. They don't really have to prove anything to anybody, especially the Lions. So that's my issue with that spread is that I think you're right. That it's a lot closer game than it should be. The Cardinals will probably win, but the Lions will, I think, be in it longer than people give them credit for.
I think it turns out a normal Lions game where it comes down to they blow it in the last 30 seconds of the game. If you look at it, the horrible teams in the NFL, the Jacksonvilles, the Jets, the Houstons, the Detroit Lions, there's one team in there that I still wouldn't want to play, and it's the Detroit Lions. The other three teams, I'm happy to play them. They just have enough. There's no fight in any of those three teams, but the Detroit Lions have fight. They play every game. I think the Lions next season, if they can keep their coach and they can keep their players, their core players, maybe upgrade a quarterback, they've got a chance to win some games next year. I think that they're right there on the edge of being maybe a 500 team. I'm going to say it now for next year, but yeah, I think that game's going to be really interesting in Arizona.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just need a couple pieces. They need a couple guys that are in the same page and sync. Like you saw what Josh Reynolds did for Jared Goff, just having him with a little bit of confidence that he has a guy that he can go to when it counts. You put in a healthy DeAndre Swift, healthy Sewell, get another help on that O-line, get some guys back on deep. They've had a ton of injuries on defense this year. So yeah, I'm with you. Like Okuda's not even playing. He hasn't played. Aquara's barely played. So yeah, I'm with you. They're only a couple pieces away.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy who's a Detroit Lions fan, Mr. Butts. You know him well.
Seymour
Butts. I think and this is just me bullshit basically, I really would like the Lions to pick Pittsburgh, the University of Pitt's quarterback.
Kenny Pickett?
I think that...
You don't even know the man's name.
I do. He's a true pocket passer. I think he's also an athlete. So I think that he'd do well in Detroit. I just don't think Goff's the answer. I think that the rest of their team's pretty solid. Like you said, Okuda hasn't played. He's going to be a great cornerback. I think that a quarterback for them is where they need to go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's a long way out, but
I think the guy that they're going to get with that, if they have the number one pick, is probably the kid out of Michigan, the defensive end. I think he would be a solid pick, and he's Dan Campbell's kind of guy, to where I think that would really be sort of what that defense needs to kind of get after it. I'm kind of with you with Jared Goff. I don't have a whole lot of faith in him. I kind of see him maybe going to like the Texans, winding up there, and somehow they do a trade with Deshaun and like Miami, and a whole bunch of people are moving, and he sort of just ends up in a team like that. And maybe Detroit gets like Jalen Hurts instead or something. I don't know. I still think Jalen Hurts is going to end up in Houston. But I could definitely see Jared Goff like going somewhere weird.